Hi everyone. So today we are going to cover multi-container pod as well as init containers. So let's start. So sometimes we require two services to work together, like a web server or a logging agent. So and it should be independent of each other. For this type of task, multi-container pods are created, and they can share the same network as well as the same volumes. Okay. So there are three common patterns for using multi-container in a pod: sidecar container, adapter containers, and ambassador containers. Okay. So how to create a one? Uh, Inside a pod definition, under the specs section, you can define a container field, which is an array. This allows you to define multiple containers in a single pod. Okay. So like this, inside pod definition, under the spec definition, spec section, container field array, and name and image. Okay. One container runs as a web server, and another container named logger handles the logging. Okay. So three common patterns that we are going to discuss, like sidecar pattern. A helper container runs along the main one, which we saw about. So this is the helper container logger, which scales independently and deployed independently. A logger, so for example, a logger that collects logs from web server. Adapter pattern, it is used to transfer or modify the data before it is sent out. So it's like adapter container converts logs to a common format before sending it to loggers. So that pattern is that. And third one is ambassador pattern, works like a proxy for networks request. Your app connects to different database. So instead of changing the app code, the ambassador container reroutes request to the right database. Okay. So these are three common patterns, and most common pattern uh, that we use day to day life is sidecar pattern. Okay. So that's about the multi-container pod. And regardless of which pattern you use, the definition remains the same. Okay. In multi-container pods, eh, all the containers continues to run as long as the pod is running. Okay. Sometimes you want to run a container once, like a polling dependency before the main app starts. So for this kind of one-time startup task, we use init containers. Okay. So if either container stops or fails, a kubelet restarts the container based on the restart policy. So if restart policy is set to always or on failure, kubelet will restart the failing init container until it succeeds. And if restart policy is set to never, the kubelet will not restart the failing init containers and mark the pod as failed. Okay. So these are the containers. Init containers are used for one-time task. Okay, at startup, like getting up the dependency and all. Like if you are on Java, running Java containers for, then you need like uh, building Java at a runtime. Then you need to fetch the dependency from Maven repository. So you can do that as well. Okay, over here you can use init container in CI/CD pipelines. Okay. So how to create init containers? Init containers are just like regular containers, but they are placed in special section in a pod definition. Their job is to finish a task and exit successfully. The main app container won't start until all init exists successfully. Okay. So same inside spec section and init field, init container field, we have this name array. Okay. We can have multiple init containers, so that's why it's an array. Okay. So this particular uh, piece of YAML does fetch the clone the repository before the main app starts. Okay. So like this, it's an array. So we can have multiple init containers, and each container runs in order, one at a time. Okay. And the next init container won't run until the previous one finishes successfully. So it's like this. If this fails, it won't start this. Okay. And it will, the kubelet will restart this container until it successfully completes and exists. Okay. So yeah, that was short and sweet. Multiple containers in a pod and init containers. Now, next time we will look at liveness, readiness, and startup props. So I read about liveness, readiness, and all. So there is a thin line. There is a difference, but some of the articles were overlapping it, and I was not able to understand it properly. But finally, I got it. So I have not written the literature over here, but I will surely write it. And if you want to have some reference of init container, this is the documentation, official documentation. Yeah, that's all. And I have posted the. So regarding our site, I am yet to configure this URL thing. So if you see over here, this C is capital and config flex are capital. I want like this small. So yet to configure it. So all the links you will see has like camel case uppercase over here. So need to change that as well. Okay. So yeah, that's it. And today what we discuss is on live on our website. Yeah. Bye everyone.